Hey Journey on the Flyers, we're here at a creek local to our house. Gonna do a little bit of tight lining for smallmouth and any other critter that we might hook, but we're purposely going after smallmouth. So stick with us. I'm gonna give you some info. I'm using the 23 PS here again today. The nymph rod, the 10-foot 3-weight. I actually think a 4-weight is more appropriate to this, but it does the job. And then we have a Euro mini micro jig on here. One of Landon Fowler's, I think his name is, one of his flies. We're gonna get at it. We're just gonna do some jigging and some swinging and hopefully pick up some smallmouth. Let's get at it. Putting a 20-pound butt section on here because today we're going to keep our journey tight, and by that I mean we're going to continue to pursue smallmouth on a tight line rig. I've done it before, just not on purpose. Got to put some 6-pound 3X Rio fluoro on here. As far as this fluoro goes and jigging, I don't get too specific. I love Cortland stuff. I just have a lot of confidence in it. But I don't have any 3 and fluoro. And the shop sells Rio at the moment. So that's what I bought. As far as flies go, you could hook some regular streamers. Today though, I'm going to be throwing some of these big bad boys on here. It's a number 10 jig, risen fly, 9240s with a 4.5mm tungsten silver bead. I may have to add some more weight on this, which I'm okay with, to get it down, but I'll do that actually with some tungsten putty, and we'll talk about that later if I do it. We'll see you on the water. All I'm doing, but is just kind of swinging and jigging, honestly. Just twitching my rod tip, letting it sink back down. I just kind of let it sink and then just already got a fish. Woohoo! It's actually fighting like a trout. Little smallie already. Woohoo! Very cool. Barbless jig. One down, brah. And if you notice, right where I'm tossing this, there's a super soft spot. Oop, there was another one. Missed him. So there's a boulder under there, which, like every other fish, they're looking for that. It's almost like an eddy boulder at one level. You see it almost gets stuck in there because the water's so slow. I'm tossing it in there because that's a good staging area for these fish to watch for food to pass by in their predatory or instinct. Tight lining is not lobbing. You don't just flop the cast up. I don't care who tells you that. There's too much precision in how this works, or how it can work rather. The reason the tight line rig is so popular, I think, amongst competitive fly fishermen and so many people who think a lot deeper about it, is that it has so much precision potential. I'm not going to talk about how to cast on this episode. Suffice it to say, you don't just lob it upstream. Not everything is a tension cast or water tension cast. Don't let anybody tell you it's just lobbing the flies. You can just lob the flies and get away with it, but if you want precision in your casting, if you want to X mark the spot and get your fly there, then you can do that this way. Here we go. All right. Ooh, baby. Ooh. Dear God. Ouch. Ouch. Woo, that's a better one. Too bad I figured this out 20 minutes before I got to leave. I walked up here Christmas Eve and I walked way, way, way up. And I told myself I'd just come up and fish these pools like this, and I never did. I fished everywhere. Oh, what's in his mouth? Come here. Hopping around. Wow. Big old crayfish in his mouth. Really? Yeah, like that long. He deserves to be hooked. Pretty good fish. Oh, come on, after my rod. Got it, got it. Here we go, bud. This is smallmouth. Yep, absolutely. Dude, on the sarong. That was awesome. I saw him come out underneath that rock and grab her.
The eye of Sora. I didn't.
Woo! There he went. It was a hunter release.
Shush.
Woohoo! Look at the little guy. Barbless hook, baby. Spits them right out. Yeah? Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Upstream, where we talk a little bit more outside of the realm of fly fishing and the outdoors, where we look at beauty, ethics, philosophy, religion, all those types of things. We've been talking a lot about truth lately in some of our videos, and we're going to continue that discussion because we think it's a very, not just valid discussion, but we think it's the most important subject there is. Now, some of my religious friends will argue that religion and God is the most important subject, and I would disagree only because truth has to be understood first to know whether or not your religious beliefs fall in that category. So understanding truth prior to your religious beliefs, I think, is the best path. It's not the path that all of us take, but it's the best path. And if you are religious and you don't understand truth, then my advice is hang in there, listen to these videos, and begin to apply them to your worldview so that you can piece it together by pulling it apart, because here we want to dissect worldviews to understand them better. One of the things I want to talk to you about today is the fact that truth is worth debating over. Debates are not a bad thing. Argument is not a bad thing. As a matter of fact, I had the privilege of reading a very small book, and it had the title something on the lines of Guidebook to Arguments. And I kind of liken that to everybody watching YouTube videos like this one and trying to learn how to do certain things in the world of fly fishing. Now, it's really good to use those videos and our videos to begin to learn the process. But there's one thing that watching YouTube videos primarily and foundationally can offer, and that is a critique. That's why university is such a great place, or at least it used to be, to put forth your ideas and to hear new ideas, because it was an environment that no idea was safe in the sense that it wasn't free from critique. And debate does that. Taking a guide out or going out on a day with a guide is a great way to have your technique and your skills critiqued. Debate in the world of ethics and religion and philosophy, in the world of ideas, is a great way to establish or begin the process of establishing whether your worldview can stand up to the criticisms that is due to it. Taking something from Chuck Colson, he used to say something on the lines of, debating ideas presupposes at least there's truth to be had. So it's really important to understand. Back to that book that I read regarding how to argue. Now, there's got to be a distinction between argue and fighting. Fighting is what you do with your wife prior to making up to her, right? So the book isn't a way to fight your wife or your spouse better, right? No. Fight the book on arguments, to contrast a fight with an argument, go on Facebook and say something political, you're going to get into a fight, not an argument. The difference is, fights are where opinions are thrown around, and a lot of times cuss words. It gets heated, it gets messy. Argument is when you address your own opinion privately and personally by looking at the evidence and the reasons to back up said opinion, and then when you take it to the public sphere, now an argument can be taking place where you have two people contrasting ideas who have researched them and understood them the best they could, and they're contrasting them to the public to see which one holds up to scrutiny. It's where the laws of logic and things like that are appropriate to begin to put into place, to use to show whether your worldview or my worldview holds up. I think most of us would agree that right now America is so divided that very few arguments take place, and it's just a lot of fighting. Screaming matches, battles of not ideas, but of emotions and feelings. We, for the sake of truth, have to rescue this. We have to see truth as being the ultimate goal in every conversation that we have. Ravi Zacharias, granting all the wrongs that he did, don't forget the rights that he did, used to always say, behind every question is a questioner. Friends, just because you hold a belief opposed to your cousin or something like that doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about them. These ideas need to be hashed out. Truth is that important. You remember I talked in another video about truth being a power play, and that's a wrong relationship with truth. Taking a note from Chuck Colson again, if truth is just another power play, it's all about who comes on top. It's not about truth. It's not about what is actually real and lines up with what we know to be, solid and factual in this world. Let's be more concerned about the discovery of truth. Don't allow yourself to be taken from the conversation, and don't allow conversations to escalate to where it's a fight and not an argument. Remember these wide words from Greg Kokel. If you get upset, you lost. If the person you're talking to gets upset, you've lost. Make truth your goal and do it charitably. If we don't, your worldview will never be able to be critiqued, and neither will the person beside you. So until the next time, keep your lines wet, your hooks in the fish's mouth. I don't know what that is, but it's good size. Holy crap, I think it's a brown trout. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's smallmouth. Ready?
Yep.
What?
Yes.
Good. Thank you guys for joining us for another Journey on the Fly episode. Hopefully you see, even though these smallmouth don't get that big in this creek, it's kind of the warm water equivalent of brookie fishing. We love it. It's a challenge, especially on this creek. I'll gladly talk to you about where this creek is and what it is, but I'd actually want to have a conversation with you about this creek because it's very, very treacherous. It's not one that I would tell many people about. And it's really one that if you're going to come here, you need to make sure you're either doing the buddy system or you let somebody definitely know you're going to be there and when you'll be finished. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm actually going to produce a couple more videos regarding some of the flies, not just that we use for this, but new ones that we're going to bring in and give you more tight lining for warm water species on the fly. So remember, it's not about the destination. It's the journey that makes you. God bless. See you later.